Is age just a number when it comes to U.S. presidents? This 2024 candidate definitely doesn't think so.
It's super important that the next president of the United States be someone who really understands young people.
That's 52-year-old Jason Palmer, the youngest Democrat in this year's presidential race. Here's a snapshot of the age gap between him and his Democratic opponents. And here's where he falls in the Republicans' field.
I don't think it's hard to say that Joe Biden doesn't really relate to the younger generations, but we need to move on. We need to pass the torch to a new generation of Americans. I was watching those debates and I was just embarrassed for our country. It was yelling at each other. There was a lack of civility. I still have no idea if they would agree with each other on anything. Do you know how many laws we have that haven't been updated in 15, 20, 70 years? Laws need to be updated on a regular basis.
Palmer considers himself an outsider, though the Maryland native does have some experience in politics. In the 90s, he worked with New York Senator Moynihan, and he worked alongside local and federal policymakers when he worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
It probably helps to be an outsider who understands business and has a little bit of knowledge of how government works. Now, onto the foreign policy side of things, when you don't have expertise in a particular area as a business person, you reach out and you get other experts to work with who can kind of shore you up in that area. And that's the way I intend to approach foreign policy, national security, and the like.
Palmer argues that his age is the biggest advantage when it comes to technology.
Basically, the entire economy is being digitized now, and so it's really important that someone who's in the White House actually understands how technology works, understands how innovation works.
Palmer isn't alone in thinking that age matters. A Pew Research study found that 49% of Americans want a president in their 50s, while only 3% want someone in their 30s. Generationally, nearly half of adults under 30 want a president in their 30s or 40s, and adults over 50 said they want a president 60 or up. Then there's people like Scott Gerber, who served as late Senator Dianne Feinstein's comms director, and doesn't think age should be a deciding factor at all.
The question is, do you have a vision for our country? Can you identify the issues that matter most? And then do you have the ability to get things done? So the key isn't to be an influencer, but to influence policy. And the reality is people of all ages are able to do that.
Gerber credited Senator Feinstein for working literally until the day she died at 90 years old, despite criticism from her colleagues and voters that she should have retired.
The reality is, over time, that experience, instead of being a hindrance, was actually a help, because she had seen the same types of challenges over and over again, and she knew what it took to get things done.
Age aside, it can be a challenge for non-mainstream candidates to get their fair share of the campaign spotlight. Palmer says in the months leading up to Election Day, he'll focus on innovative ways to get the underdogs more attention.
We are going to stage debates in January and February to make sure that not just myself, but some of the other Democratic candidates get on the stage. Beyond that, there are technological, creative things we can do to put ourselves on the radar. And I want this not just to be about me, but about we. We together can rebuild the American dream, we can take over the levers of government, and we can change the direction of our country.